If you can't do this, but you do a lot of this, you're in the right place. I have produced over 400 videos for this channel. About 50 of them relate to the draw shot in some way. Today, I am going to get you from 0 to 60 on your draw shot. And if you do what I tell you to do, you're going to have a draw shot in a very quick period of time. So let's get started. If you're new to FXBilliards, let me explain. We are pool players on this channel. The reason I mention that is because I'm going to teach you to shoot this shot like pool players shoot it. I will be extremely direct with you because I'm a pool player first. And if you can't handle that, you're watching the wrong channel. But if you want to learn this shot, let's go. The greatest amateur to amateur disservice is when you're learning this shot from someone, they should be telling you what not to do before they tell you what to do. If they're not telling you what not to do, you're going to have a hard time learning this shot because most people can't perform the shot because of the things that they're doing, not the things that they're not doing. So let's take a look at the list of things that you're probably doing that you need to stop doing. Number one, if you are not getting into this shot with good fundamentals, that means standing back, seeing the shot line, getting down on the shot and having a firm bridge, then you are not going to be able to draw the cue ball back. If you are jumping up when you're in the process of shooting, that means you shoot and you go like this. I see it every day. Don't tell me you're not doing it. People don't even realize that they're doing it. I had guys hit the lights over my table once telling me that they don't throw the cue up in the air, and every shot was like this. Somebody's going to lose an eye one day. I'm sure it has happened because I see so many amateur players throwing their cue around. If you are not down on the table and the tip of your cue is not down on the table and you're shooting a draw shot, you did something wrong. Stop yanking your cue back. If you are yanking your cue back, you're not following through on the shot. If you're not following through on the shot, you either have to hit it crazy hard, which you'll see from a lot of guys. I noticed right now there's somebody on your team, if you're an APA player, there's somebody, it might be 6 or 7, that are hitting the ball too hard, especially when they're trying to perform a draw shot. Next, eliminate any body movement. That means we already talked about you jumping up. We already talked about you throwing your cue in the air. If your body is moving, your tip is moving. If your tip is moving, then you're not hitting the ball where you need to hit it. Don't blame your equipment. Stop blaming the equipment.
Oh, I play on such slow tables. All the cues that I have to play with suck.
A lot of us have this shot with some of the worst combinations of equipment that you're going to see in the world. We didn't learn this shot with the best cues in the world in our hand. We learned this shot with crappy cues. You will ultimately have this shot in a way that you do not have to hit it hard at all to bring it back to this rail. And even when we shoot the length of the table, you'll find that we're not slamming the ball to bring it back. We'll get to the length of the table a little bit later. You're not going to have a weak bridge. When I say a weak bridge, I mean if you are using an open bridge and you're watching this, chances are you're not hitting the cue ball where you want to hit it. If you're scooping balls, it means you're hitting under the cue ball, not that you're hitting it too low. Those of you that are watching this video and you still have an open bridge for some of these shots, learn a closed bridge. You're going to do better with this shot. I don't care what anybody tells you. If you see some of the best players in the world executing some nice draw shots with an open bridge, they earned that bridge. Make a closed bridge. You'll see me sometimes shooting it with an open bridge, sometimes with a closed bridge. If it's about power, if it's about accuracy, you're going to see a closed bridge. Learn to make a closed bridge. It's not that difficult. Let's talk about the things that you need to do. And you'll see that they correlate with the things that you need to stop doing. When you get down on the shot, you need to be balanced. You need to have a good stance. You want to step back here and then step into the shot. When we make the shot, our cue ball is going to come back here. We have a slight angle. Watch where the tip of my cue is. At the end of the shot, we are going to follow through. Notice that ball came back. I left my cue down on the table. It didn't run into my cue. Most of the time, something like 98% of the time, you're going to have some type of angle on this shot. That was less than 2 or 3 degrees. It's not going to come back and hit your tip unless it's perfectly straight, and then you will still have time to get your cue out of the way, even when they're relatively close. Where are we hitting the ball? This is the part that a lot of people have a tough time with. We are hitting the cue ball at the very bottom of the cue ball. And then you're going to say, well, when I do that, I scoop it off the table. Well, we're very honest on this channel. When you scoop the ball off the table, you're not hitting the very bottom of the ball. You're hitting under the ball. You are scooping the ball because you're hitting under the ball. How do I know? Because it's very difficult to scoop the ball unless you hit under the ball. So let's address this for a second. I've had people tell me, no, Bryan, I am hitting as low as possible without hitting under the ball. No, they're not, okay? It happens so quickly. That tip is moving at about 4 or 5 miles an hour if you're hitting it conservatively, and most of you are hitting it too hard. So you're about 10 miles an hour, and you're going to tell me exactly where you're hitting that cue ball. What you have is a good reference to where you think you're hitting the cue ball. You need to go very low, scary low, lower than you feel comfortable. Now, how are you going to do all of this and not scoop the ball off the table? You can't just say, well, Bryan said don't hit under it, so I'm going to stop hitting under it, and then all of a sudden you don't scoop any balls. This is what you're going to do. When you get on the shot, you are going to shorten your bridge because you probably have a bridge that is too long. What does that mean? That means where your hand is relative to the cue ball. If you're back here, you better have a world-class stroke. Get your hand closer to the cue ball. 6 inches is not bad. You can get 6 inches from this ball and shoot a really nice draw shot with a lot of accuracy. You're going to have people on your team to tell you the power comes from the long bridge. The power comes from the long bridge if you have a perfect stroke, or at least a really good stroke. The accuracy comes from the shorter bridge, and that's the thing that you need right now in order to make that ball. You are not trying to shoot it the length of the table. And I've done demonstrations on this table, on this channel, where I have had a very short bridge and shot that ball the length of the table. You're not going to be jacked up when you shoot this shot. What does jacked up mean? It means that we are going to have our cue as level as we can given what the table gives us. Now, what does that mean? That's as level as it can be. But there's a rail here. But we're a human being, and we're all the way up here, and the ball's all the way down there. We are going to be jacked up a slight bit. Do not hit me in the comments and say, well, it looks like you're jacked up. If you see me jacked up, it's for a very simple reason. The cue ball is so close to the rail that the only way to get to the spot that we need to hit when we are shooting the draw shot is to jack the back of our cue up. But you want to have your cue as level as you can and still hit the ball at the very bottom without miscuing. Where I'm hitting the ball and where you're hitting the ball is going to be different. This is why I'm not going to give you some GoPro angle, because if you hit the ball where I hit it and you're a relative beginner or you don't have a draw shot, you're going to be scooping balls all day. It means that the spot that I'm hitting is very specific and very low, and unless you have a perfect stroke or at least a very good stroke, you're not going to hit it where I'm hitting it. Trying to hit it in that spot, you're going to end up under the ball. You're going to end up too high because you're not hitting the ball where you think you're hitting it. I swear to you, you're not hitting it where you think you're hitting it. We get down on the shot. Our cue is as level as possible. Take that death grip that you have off the end of your cue. You're going to hold the cue. Jasmine Ocean has a great line, the baby bird grip. You're going to hold it so tight that if it was a baby bird, it couldn't fly out of your hand, but so loose that you don't crush the baby bird. Light grip. Cue is as level as you can get it. Look where my cue is. It is level with the table. This is where my cue is. I'm not jacked up here. If you jack up, you are more likely to go under the ball. There is a sweet spot on this cue ball, a sweet spot where you are shooting a perfect draw shot. If you are jacked up, that spot starts to get smaller and smaller and smaller because it's down here at the bottom of the ball, and if you're jacked up, the area that you can cover to hit that spot is reducing by millimeters very rapidly, going from You got it perfect to you are going to scoop the ball within about 6 millimeters. That's the difference between a nice draw shot and scooping the ball. Don't start here. This is not your shot. If you're learning this shot, what you're going to do is get your cue ball about 6 to 8 inches away from the ball. You're going to get down on the ball. You're hitting the cue ball 1 tip off the table. That's where you want to be. You're going to have trouble doing it initially, especially with the open bridge, but it is 1 tip off the table, not 1 tip below center. If you're hitting it 1 tip below the equator of the ball, you're not shooting draw shots. Watch where my tip is at the end of the shot. It's still down here. If it's up here, if it's 1 inch off the table, it's too high. So let's see what it looks like in an extreme situation. We're playing 8-ball, and we need to get on the 8-ball from the 6, which happens to be all the way down the other end of the table and relatively straight. Let's actually make it a little bit straighter. So we need to bring our cue ball back here. How are we going to do it step by step? We're in line with the shot. We've got our right foot on the shot line. We chalked up. We stepped into the shot. My cue, look where my cue is. It's level. It's hardly off the table at all. The cue is level, nice solid bridge. I'm even getting my bridge hand, which I have a pretty long bridge, I'm getting my bridge hand closer. The reason is because I just need the accuracy here. The power is going to come from accuracy. If you put those things in place, it is the exact same shot, whether it is 7 feet down table or 7 inches across table for you. Which brings me to the last point. You're going to practice this shot. You're going to practice this shot by putting the balls just a few inches apart, and you're going to shoot a draw shot until you can get the cue ball back here before that object ball has time to go all the way up and all the way back. And you can shoot hundreds of these in the time it takes you to set up balls, shoot shots, and try to draw it back. If you do any of these things wrong, you are either not going to draw the ball or you're going to miss cue. There are people that can draw the cue ball back. They're usually slamming it. They're what we call bangers. And they're doing a lot of things wrong while they do it. And you might say to yourself, well, how could they be wrong and still draw the ball back? Well, if I jack up like a maniac, I can still draw this ball back. But it means that, number one, it's not going to happen consistently, because remember that sweet spot I told you about? I'm missing most of it when you jack up. Number two, it means that there's a lot of things that you can't do because you don't know how to shoot the shot properly. If you don't shoot the shot properly, there's a lot of great things you can do with a draw shot that you can no longer do because you're doing everything wrong. Let's say I need to shoot this 7-ball and then get position on the 10-ball and then get position on the 11-ball. Ask that guy on your team with the jacked up cue, slamming the ball, to just do this little 3-ball drill for you. Say, go from that 7 to that 10 to that 11 for me. He can't do it. He can't do it. So if you don't do it right, if you don't learn it right and learn it early the right way, you become that guy. We laugh at that guy. He can draw the length of the table, but he can't get through those 3 balls. Be careful where you're getting your information from. Just because someone can do something that you can't do does not make them right. Have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. If you're not subscribing, there's a good chance you're racking for somebody that is subscribing. So check us out every week. Hit the subscribe button. Have a great day.
Hey gang, if you enjoy FX Billiards on YouTube, you'll love FXBTV. It's the ultimate streaming platform for exclusive videos, tips, and techniques you won't find anywhere else. Join now to lock in our special introductory rate and be part of the FX Billiards community.